Hi guys, and welcome to the first Fluctuating Dev Devlog. Just before the video starts, I want to remind you that this is a super new channel, and so a like and sub would mean the world. Thanks. So a few days ago, I asked you all for ideas of games and videos to make. Catlord, an old friend of the channel, suggested a 24-hour game dev challenge, and I thought, why not? I started with the idea of a game called Arcading. The idea was that this game would be a new mobile game, playing on a portmanteau of the words arcade and gaming. This game would contain many single-player games, some classics and some new games invented by me. And all of the games would only use Unity's simple assets as their models, so that's a cube, a cylinder, a plane, a sphere and a capsule, to name a few. So I started a timer and began the challenge by working on the initial UI. I did a bit of googling and found a very cool commercial allowing font called Party Confetti Regular, and I thought it would fit the game idea I had perfectly. So I downloaded it and put it into my game. Once I had some basics set out for the UI, such as a button and a font, I created the game menu. This is where all of the games you, the player, can play, but currently it's empty, and that is sad. But anyway, let's move on to our next part of the game, the first actual mini-game. This first game will be a basic game to start me off. It is a version of the game Flappy Birds called Tappy Cube. So I added the cube and then followed a few simple steps to make the game. Well, let's just say it was not that simple. I first had to code the bird's jumpy movement, which was fairly easy, but the struggle came when I had to teach myself how to implement touchscreen control for Android, because I wanted it so you can tap anywhere on the screen and the bird jumps up. I honestly spent almost an hour looking around for a video or tutorial that made the tiniest bit of sense, and this is super embarrassing because if I had just followed Brackeys' tutorial from the start, I would have been done in less than 2 or 3 minutes. Yes, this one line of code baffled me for almost an hour, but I found it out in the end, so thank you Brackeys, very cool. So now with flapping and tapping implemented, I started on the generation of the walls or pillars. It took quite a while despite being not too tricky, but I'll try not to bore you with the details. Psst, if you do want a full 3D Flappy Bird game tutorial, then comment that down below, I'll be happy to teach you how to do it. So, once this game was fully coded, I did a lot of playtesting, and by playtesting, I mean sitting there for 100 hours playing Flappy Bird and then turning it off and then playing it again. And then I exported my game as an APK to my phone. It worked, minus a few bugs with scene switching through buttons, but once that was fixed, it properly worked. I was so happy, and so without a break, jumped straight into the next item on my tick list. The game menu and a scrolling list of games. I have absolutely zero experience in making this kind of list, so a big shout out to Crypto Games, whose video I used is linked down below, who helped me get a good start from his video. So, once this was sorted, as you can see, I have a cool scrolling list with currently 20 buttons. I can add as many more buttons as I want. All of these buttons currently only open the Flappy Bird game, but once I create more, I can simply change one string in the inspector of each button, and then it opens up a new game, which makes this system incredibly modular. Once this was done, I wanted to make one more game for the devlog, but I also wanted to be able to release this video quickly, so I may have done a little bit of a cheat, but it still works. So this is the official Fluctuating Dev tutorial on how to make a game super quickly. Step 1. Have another game pre-made. Mine will be Tappy Cube. Step 2. Slightly change the camera angle, FOV, and make any small necessary changes. And there we have it. POV Tappy Birds is what I've called it. It's the same game precisely, but just with a new camera angle, but I think it still feels like a completely different game. I also made a logo quite quickly, which you can see here. It uses the font and a sort of neon effect on bricks. It's very temporary, but I quite like it for now. So if you have any suggestions for the icon or anything at all, leave it down below and I'll see if I will like it and if I want to implement it. So, unfortunately, the time has come for me to end the first devlog for my new game, Arcading. I hope you've enjoyed. As always, comment down below any ideas you have for the game, like and subscribe. Also, there is a download link for the game. It sadly isn't yet on Google Play, but that is the ultimate aim. So if you want to play the game so far, then visit the itch.io link and download on an Android device. Right, that really is all now. Goodbye.